Good afternoon. Once again, welcome to our show, Time with a Gardener. My name is Dr. Frank Kwekuche Aka, and I am the gardener. I want to apologize for bringing the show to you late today uh, because we had some technical issues. So I'm sorry for that, but the show has to go on. Okay, so we always have been talking about gardening and the need to also learn to grow your crop. This show is brought to you every year, every week. Every week we try to find a topic that is very interesting, a topic of interest to all of us, so that we give you the training. And we actually want to ensure that every home in Ghana has access to safe food. And so this show is carefully designed by Garden for All. Garden for All is a nonprofit organization with the aim of ensuring that every home has access to safe food. And then again, this show is also brought to you in partnership with the University of Cape Coast, School of Agriculture, and then the Virginia Tech Department of Agricultural Leadership and Communication. That department is also part. And then again, Solidaridad West Africa has been very supportive and has been partnering with us. In 2023, we partnered to give free training to people in the Greater Accra region, gardeners. It was a 3 days program. Vendors were given the opportunity to exhibit their produce. And then again, there was also free training. People received free training. I personally gave a training on the techniques in gardening, how you can establish your garden, the various types of gardens, how you can manage them, the basic pest problem that you are likely to encounter, how you can manage them. So that program was organized in 2023. And then again, we are also supported by Euganics. Euganic is an organization into homemade organic products, creams, using the garden plants. A lot of garden plant has been put into this. This is the hair cream, which is purely organic. Hair cream, purely organic, and made from the garden plant, the curry, Lipia alba, we have neem, and then basil, oregano. All the garden plants are made into this particular hair product. They also have hair conditioner. Hair conditioner is also made from the garden plant by the same organization, Euganics. This is a small organization, homemade. These are all homemade products. And then also hair shampoo. Hair shampoo is also part of the products made. And then another product is hair oil. Hair oil. And then you can see that It is made from coconut oil, pineapple oil, or orange and lemon oil, egg, cloves, rosemary, turmeric, garlic. We have neem, curry, and moringa, lemongrass, Lipia alba, scent leaves, caronda cherry, castor, aloe vera, and then a lot of uh, garden plants made into this particular product. So if you need copies, if you need some of these products, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Garden for All, because this is also a product from Garden for All. And so it's something that we can actually tell you that it is pure, it is authentic, and it is actually coming from garden plants. So Garden for All is actually championing these products. And so Uganic is a product. Those of you who want to be distributors, if you want some in your shop, just kindly reach out to us and then we will supply. And so I'll share the phone number that you can call. You can call 0541 933717. 0541 933717. And so you can get all these products. This is the hair cream. This is the hair oil. We have hair shampoo. And then there's another product. Yeah, so sorry for the break in transmission. I'm so sorry about that. I think the network has been very bad. So as I shared earlier, we are being supported by Uganics. Uganic is actually a product from Garden for All, and these are made from garden plants. This is the hair cream. We also have the hair shampoo made from garden plant. We also have the hair oil made from a lot of plant extracts. And then the hair conditioner is also another product made from the garden plant. So today we want to talk about the plants that you can grow in your garden and then use for tea. Sometimes our concentration has always been on the edible plant, as in the food plant. And so we concentrate so much on growing food crops, let me say food crops, but we don't think about the herbs and how to use the herbs. Very, very, very important. And so there are a lot of plants that serve a lot of purposes in our garden, and which we have to deliberately grow them and then use them regularly. In Ghana, the problem that we have is that we always take some of these plants when we are sick, but we don't take them as food, as part of our food. My first time in Israel, when I went to Israel the first time, we visited one farmer who is a grape farmer in the Arava Desert, that is the middle of the desert. And when we visited a man, he served us a tea. And I was surprised to see that the tea was actually lemongrass tea. I knew that in Ghana, lemongrass is called the tea leaf, and then it is only when you are sick fever, then they will boil it and then ask you to drink. But here's the case. This is actually served as a tea for every guest. It is there, and then you go and pour, and then you drink. That was my first experience. My second experience was when I went to India. In India, they have a very unique tea, very nice tea, and comes in a small cup. And so in my lab, the lab that I was studying, whenever there is break, everybody goes tea break, and then you go for your tea. And then when I tasted the tea for the first time, the taste looked familiar. And I asked, is this made from lemongrass? I said, yes. And so almost every tea shop that I visited in India served lemongrass. Regular. So you take it in the morning, afternoon, evening, whenever there is a tea break, lemongrass. Here is the case. In Ghana, we take these plants whenever we are sick, but we don't make them part of our food, as in take it as food. And so we are so much reliant on the imported tea bags. Imported tea bags. So you have the tea bags, packed a lot of them in the shops. And that is what we sell. Hardly would you visit a home in Ghana for them to give you an option of a garden plant tea. Now, when you visit my house, be ready to take a garden tea, a garden plant tea. That is it. And that is what we are promoting. The garden plants have a lot of medicinal benefits and are used as tea, and a lot of research has been conducted, and elsewhere when you visit different countries use them as tea. Even in Ghana locally, some people have been using them as tea. So we have to learn to use our garden plant and deliberately grow these plants, these herbs, and then use them as tea. Very important. There are a lot of plants that we can grow and use them as tea, which I'll be talking about one by one in the coming episode. So you get to know the benefit, the health benefit of these plants. One of them I'll be talking about is the curry plant. This plant was actually introduced to me by Madam Gladys, who is a member of the Home Gardening Ghana page. And I didn't know much about it. But when you say the curry, most people confuse it with the curry powder. The curry powder, the one that we use as spices in cooking. In Indian language, anytime you use the word curry, it means a lot of spices combined, and they're used for food. That's so you have the curry powder that you have is made up for turmeric. You have a lot of other herbs in it, cloves, all of them, rosemary, all of them. They grind them, they mix them. So you can actually prepare that particular one, spices. But this is a curry plant, a plant itself, a curry plant. So the curry plant has a lot of medicinal purposes. And so you can actually grow it in your house and then use it as tea. So it's one, but we'll talk about it later. One other plant that you can also grow in your home and then use as tea is the scent leaf. The scent leaf is also one other plant that can be used as tea. At the right time, we will talk about it, give a detailed explanation about it, how you can grow it, and then how you can use it as tea, the benefit that it has. One other plant that now is becoming popular is the butterfly pea, the blue butterfly pea. The blue butterfly pea is a flower. It's a flower. So the flower, you can use the flower as tea. It's also very good. And so we will talk about it. But you can actually grow it in your garden. You can grow it in your garden and then purposely for tea. Another very important plant is the Lepia alba. The Lepia alba, that is, we will talk about the Lepia alba today, but also another garden plant that you can plant and then use for tea. And so there is also one other plant that is very important, that is the Justicia Kenya. The Justicia Kenya, we call it Yesu Moja. That is what most people, that's the local name. It is also used as a black tonic. And so it's a very important garden plant that you can also consider growing in your garden and then use for tea. There's also another plant that is the oregano. The oregano, we have different types. This is the Mexican oregano, and then this is the normal. We have different varieties, but they are also very important plants that you can use for tea. It's an important garden plant that you can actually grow and then use for tea. Please, I am not a herbalist. I am a gardener. And so, please, but I want to introduce you to these plants, these garden plants, and then you grow them and then use them as tea. And another very, very common plant is the basil. The basil, the sweet basil. We have different types: the sweet basil, the Mexican basil, the Thai basil, a lot of basil types. And so, but basil is, we have a lot of native species that we can also use. Very good, has very strong smell. And so we can actually grow them as well in our homes and then use them as tea. And so these and many more garden plants that you can consider and then use them for tea. But today we are going to talk specifically about the Lepia alba. The Lepia alba is actually my favorite tea plant. It's actually my favorite tea plant. I use it a lot. And so when you come to my office, I always have a pack one. And so you can always enjoy it and then use it for your tea. Very important. And so, but a lot of people don't know that the Lepia alba is highly medicinal, and it contains a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, and then it's used in traditional medicine. It's not actually a native of Africa, but it grows very well in Ghana, spread very in Africa. It spreads very fast. And so you always have fresh leaves and then you use them and then in your tea. You can either grind it into powder and then use the powder, or the dry leaves. You can just put the dry leaves in warm water and then use it as tea. And there are a lot of research has also been conducted on it. And so I just try to search some of the benefits of the Lepia alba plant so that you yourself can know, and then you can actually also read more about it. And it has been reported to contain a lot of antioxidants, and then it contains antibacterial and then antifungal properties. And so talking about infections, these particular plants, when you use the tea, you can use it to cure some of these infections in your system. And so, as then again, it has also been reported to also have anti-inflammatory properties. So, if you have any inflammation in your system, you can actually use this particular plant, that is the Lepia alba, to treat it. And then again, those of you having problems with sleep, it has been reported that it has a sedative properties. And so it can also be used as stress reliever. So it is also one of the plants that you can also consider and then use for that purposes. There was a time that I introduced one of our professors to this particular plant. I gave him some of the leaves so that he can use it as tea. You know what I do always. And so I gave him some of the dry ones, and then he used it as bitters. He said he did alcohol infusion. He put it in his alcohol drink. And that day, he slept so well. So he called me. He said, Dr. Aka, your plant, does it make you sleep very well? I said, yes. It has sedative properties and then also used in managing stress. And so you can use it. It helps you to sleep. And he said, I love the plant. So ever since that time, he has always been using it as tea. And so it's very, very, very important. And so it is also used in treating cold, for respiratory problems. And then, more importantly, it is used as insect repellent. I chanced upon a paper which they use the oil in controlling mosquitoes. So they use this as mosquito repellent. And so this particular plant can also be used to repel insects. And so it's very important that you consider the Lepia alba. One thing is that the Lepia alba is not difficult to grow. Once you get the cuttings, when you have even this particular branch, you put it there and then it will grow, it will germinate for you. You don't need a seed, you just need the planting material, just put it there, and it spreads very fast. Any part of the plant that touches the ground, if this particular branch touches the soil, it will also roots. You see root forming. And so once it spreads on the ground, you see it growing very fast and then also multiplying. So it's not difficult to propagate. And so I will encourage you, if you get access to it, you can grow it in your garden. And then anytime the leaves, it's not difficult to dry. You can easily dry it and then get the powder and then use it for your tea. At least you can get a tablespoon in a glass of water and then use it for your tea instead of relying on the imported tea bags. Grow your own tea plants and then enjoy them, use them for your illnesses or to improve your immune system. And so it's very important that you think about the plants that you grow. Don't always consider growing food crops, but think about growing the herbs and then use them as tea. And then again, the advice is that don't only use them when you are sick. Let them be part of your food. You take them as tea regularly as your tea, because these are food. These are also food. So it's very important that you consider. So instead of you taking coffee all the time, think about using your garden plants. But you see, you can also read about them. Sometimes you are not, your health condition doesn't permit you to take certain plant with certain vitamins or certain minerals or with certain properties. So you can read about that particular plant very well before taking them. And so easily just type the name and then you can get a lot of information out of them. So today we have talked about the Lipia alba as a tea plant. And so next week we also pick another plant, garden plant, that you can use as tea. At least I have mentioned a lot of them. Next week we will talk about the curry plant. If you need planting materials for any of them, you can reach out to me so I can give you the planting material. Or if you need the Lipia alba, the powder already prepared, packaged, that we will sell to you. Garden for All, we also produces some of these healthy plants, tea plants, and then you can actually get a package and then use them for your tea if you don't have the space to grow them. And so it's very, very, very important. And please take note and then reach out to us. Yes, Gardening Mark, I hear people put stevia in their tea instead of sugar. I need to grow some of them. Yes, I have also heard about it. That you can always combine, but if you have access to them, I'm sure a lot of people have access to them, which you can reach out to. Currently, we don't have. I mostly use honey as a sweetener, and so we can actually get them. I know someone who only uses sugarcane as a sweetener. And so he has extracted the sugarcane juice and then boiled it into a syrup, and then that is what he adds to his tea. And so, yes, Mr. Ahiapo, Kwesi Ahiapo, the swagon purple, yes, the lemon balm, the sage are also garden plants. And one interesting story that my mother-in-law shared that I see to be very interesting was that I said when she was growing up, her stepfather never bought sugar. He never bought sugar. And I said, so what then does he use as sugar? He said they had a lot of bananas in their backyard. And so whenever they have, and because there was a lot of banana, they harvest and they are not able to eat all. So instead of throwing them away, what he does is that the stepfather puts the banana, the one that is getting rotten, in a basket and then puts a bowl under it. And so the juice ooze into the bucket. And then after that, they collect it after a week, sieve it, and then boil it. They boil it and then get a syrup out of it, which is very sugary. And that is what they use as sweetness. And I thought that was very interesting. And so we can also, because a lot of farmers throw away the plantain, the bananas, because it gets rotten. And so you see the water oozing out of it. That water, you can also, because it also contains a lot of sugar, you can also boil it, get the syrup, keep it in your jar, and then use it as sweetener. That was, and this story is something that is more than 50 years ago. She was sharing, said that was what her father-in-law used to do. But we are in the modern world. We are not learning from this tradition, and it's something that we need to bring back. And so we can actually do that and then add it into a garden tea and then enjoy them. We are promoting organic, and so try as much as possible to also take advantage of these garden plants instead of always going to buy these medicines from the counter that is not organic. Let's try to use these plants, which are very, very medicinal and which are very good for our health and which we can easily grow in our gardens. I want to thank you so much for joining us today and then also learning from us. I love you all, and then I thank you so much for joining me. This show is actually brought to you by Garden for All. Garden for All is a nonprofit organization, and we have the aim of ensuring that every home has access to safe food. We help people build garden. Next month, we are going to embark on an outreach. We'll be visiting gardeners. We'll be giving them free training. We will be supporting them with seedlings. And so if you want to partner, if you are an organization that want to partner, reach out to us and let's work together. And all our activities are actually be done through people's support and donation. If you want to donate in cash or in kind, just reach out to us, and then we will actually appreciate it. And then always also let people know how you are contributing. You can join our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Home Gardening Ghana. Home Gardening Ghana is actually a project of Garden for All, and we have more than 300,000 members. And we have dedicated administrators, which Mr. Hiapo, the Swagon Papa, is part of. And so we always share ideas, we help each other. So you meet a lot of gardeners, and when you have any problem, you share it there, and then they will give you the advice. I am always online, and then I try as much as possible to address the challenges that members face. I want to thank you so much once again. And then once again, let's take advantage of the garden plant. And then I will introduce you to Uganics. Uganic are also products developed by a team from Garden for All, and very good for your hair. So reach out to us if you want to be a supplier, or if you want samples. If you want to buy some, just reach out to us. We do delivery as well. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Dr. Kwekutiaka. I am the gardener. Once again, thank you for reaching out. You can watch all the other episodes on the YouTube channel, and then kindly subscribe and share. Bye-bye for now. Bye.